This is Revolutions Per Minute on DZRJ Radio with Marlyn Croft, and I'm Eric LeCain. Through the next hour and a half, we will be discussing ways of enhancing your life, your business, and inspiring Filipinos to take charge of their destiny. Now, today on the show, we have a very special guest. She is actually just coming up the stairs right as we talk. So we're just waiting on her. So in the meantime, let me talk a little bit about who this person is. She's not only is she an airline pilot, but she's also an aviator and an author and a women's rights activist. She's the owner of the Manila Aero Flying Club Academy, and she's a chief flying instructor from there. Now, in fact, I believe she just now walked into the studio, and here she is. Let's just bring her on in and set her down. Come on in. Why don't you sit down right over here, and I'm just going to continually keep talking. Why don't you, you sit there. I believe our guests were having their lunch downstairs and are very late. But let me ask, while they're getting themselves set up, let me ask a question to the audience out there. Have you ever been on an airplane and you heard someone come on the announce and says, "Hello, this is the captain. We'll be cruising at 33,000 feet with a tailwind speed of blah, blah, blah," and some other things that basically nobody really cares about. But when is the last time that you were on an airplane and that person that came across the loudspeaker was a woman? Now, I fly probably between 50 and 60 times a year, and my answer to that question is zero. I have never been on a plane where the person came across and said, "Hello, this is the captain," it was a woman. So today we're very happy to have a woman that would actually be that person on the loudspeaker, and her name is Irene Mora. Say hello to Irene. Irene, say hello to the audience out there.
Hello Philippines, and of course hello to Marlyn. Is it Marlyn Kragh show? You took over his show.
I took over Marlyn's show. Marlyn actually is on vacation. She's in Denmark right now. And the last time I talked to her, Marlyn said, "I'm having a Danish." And I'm not really sure what that meant exactly. But we're waiting for Marlyn to come back, and she'll be back probably in the next couple of weeks.
We got a bit specific.
But we're really happy to have you on the show. Now, also joining us with you is Maricel Tolosa. Did I say that right? Tolosa. And she is also an airline pilot. She's a student pilot at the Academy, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, the Academy of Irene. She's also incredibly beautiful. Now, I know we're on the radio, so it's hard. So let me just to describe how gorgeous this woman is. And she also, besides being possibly an airline pilot, she was also in the top 10 of Miss World in 2006 in Russia. She was first runner-up in Miss Globe in California. And she was Miss, and if I can say this right, Mouton Cadet in France at the Cannes Film Festival. Was that right?
Yes.
Did I say that right? Okay. Anyway, we're very happy to have her here. Now, Irene, you are an airline pilot, a commercial airline pilot.
Yes, sir.
But you're not just a pilot. If I have this right, you also own a flying academy where you teach young Filipinos to be airline pilots as well. Supposedly, you'll have to tell us about this later. You're an author. You're the first woman in the Philippines that finished the 0G training in the U.S. And I cannot wait to touch on that a little later. And also the CEO of Mora Air Services. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about what you've brought to the Philippines as far as your flying academy and getting more Philippines in that cockpit. I know we see a lot of Filipinos that go and they be flight attendants and they work in the airports. However, getting them into situations where they are commercial pilots flying around the world.
Well, actually, when I came over here around 15 years ago, there was no really women pilot. And I was very fascinated about flying. So I brought in this level of higher level of education, which is why not teaching women to fly. So literally, I'm not teaching only women to fly right now from the Philippines, but actually it's all over the world, Eric.
Yeah.
All over the world. So we have a lot of students from actually all over the world right now. We have people from Norway. We have people from Amsterdam. We have people from Papua New Guinea. We have people from India. Of course, and we have had in the past, we have a lot of people from Saudi Arabia, Sudan, and Korea, China, and Japan. And of course, right now we're hoping to have more women pilot, not literally man flies too, right? When you flip the page. Oh, man flies too. So right now, when I came over here and proved them wrong that women can fly and can be an airline pilot too. So that's the main thing why I did push through the Aero Club. Actually, the Manila Aero Club history was just like an Aero Club where in the past it was only people that own the airplanes. So it was a very close club wherein only those people that own airplanes, they gathered together, they spend time together on weekend. But then when I came over here 15 years ago, the aviation was not that really booming yet. So many pilots that are really hungry for flying. And so, of course, I was one of the pioneering women at the Civil Aviation Authority. It wasn't that very easy for me to actually start what I had been doing and where I am today. Because the stereotype of, our culture, I mean, you're an American. Well, you see so many women pilots. Oh, even you said to me a while ago that you haven't seen any woman pilot yet in your entire life. But going back in America, Eric, let me ask you, have you ever seen a woman pilot flying back there?
Never.
The other side of the world.
I've never, that's what I was saying. I was going through my mind and I was trying to think all the times, and I fly a lot, probably, like I said, it's probably between 60 and 70 times a year I fly. Right. And I've, flown all over the U.S. I don't remember ever hearing a woman come across a loudspeaker and say, this is your captain speaking. So that's why I find it fascinating that you're trying to push women to be into that field, because that really is a boys' club.
Oh, it is. It's a boys' club, but at the same time, this is what I was born for. So most people actually misunderstood you sometimes, and there are so many people that those people that would have some critics over you because you're doing the man's world. You're doing the man thing.
Well, let's touch on that for 1 second. Really, you just said, where I'm from. Where are you from? Because I was reading a little bit about you, and you were actually born. You're Filipino.
I'm Filipino,
but
yes.
you were born in the U.S. and you were a U.S. citizen, and then you changed your citizenship to come back to the Philippines.
Well, actually, let me tell you something. Do you have a pen? Because I will tell you exactly where I came from. If I will let you pronounce the word home, Home. I came from here on Mother Earth.
Okay, all right.
So that's
I'll write that down later. I'll put that down later.
Yeah, I mean, I feel home wherever I am. So go back in the old country, California, where I spent most of my time as a child growing up. Flying there was not that so many women as well back then, but then, in California, it's different than New York, Well, you're a New Yorker. We're Californians. It's
really?
Like a different country.
I thought it was exactly the same. No, it's completely. I'm just kidding, everybody. It's completely a separate, separate worlds.
We have the same president. Yeah.
Well, that's maybe one of the very things. We completely eat different foods. We talk differently.
Right.
We have the people in New York are
are different.
New Yorkers are very pissed off, and California's more laid back. Yeah. But how long ago was it that you left the United States and you came to...
I left the United States when I was actually 21. So I was coming back and forth at the age of 20, 21, coming back and forth to the Philippines. I was studying my engineering back in Japan. And at the same time, I was flying. So I was the kind of person that I was doing a lot of things, 100 things at the same time. So that's kind of hard to really do it for other people. Most people, I have that question is, how the hell do you do this? But it's just a matter of mastering the thing that not most people are doing it.
you actually changed your citizenship to back to Filipino.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
How long ago did that happen?
That was long time ago. Way
so it was
back.
more than 10 years ago.
Yes, actually,
Right, so-
I just get married with an American too, like
well,
you. But
well, I tell you, now that I know you changed your citizenship, you can actually become president, and you don't have to go to the Supreme Court.
No,
Yeah.
okay, I thought you're my friend. Are we going to talk about flying or no?
No,
I'm
I'm just kidding around.
I have no plans into politics, but I think I was born to really put all my energy and my time while I'm still here on earth to actually educate more people, even though I'm not into the politics. But of course, I love our new president right now, which is Duterte, President Duterte, that are very focused into education. And he actually uplifting more women in the world of aviation. And that's one thing that I really like about to our new president.
Well, speaking of education, and I know that we're gonna talk about that a lot today because I know that's one of your main advocacies, and you're out to teach the world how to fly. You brought some of your students here today, and we're actually going to talk quite in depth with Marika a little later. But
yes.
Before we do that, I just wanted so they don't have to wait, they don't have to stand back here and wait. We were going to actually introduce some of your very, very young piloting students, and I can't believe how young. You think going to pilot school you'd have to be a little bit older.
Yes. Actually, literally by law, you got to be 16 years old. But breaking the stereotype, I have the youngest 14-year-old right now and the 16-year-old. And of course, speaking about the country of the Philippines, we have so many beautiful tribes, the tribes of many beautiful people. I have the very first pilot from that tribe wherein exactly I'm so very proud to introduce to the world, let the whole world knows. Aside from, we have the most beautiful woman pilot from the world of beauty queens, not kings, beauty queens. All right, with all those beauty in the beauties. Now I have the beauty from the General Santos City, and
well, I mean, this is all. This is absolutely fascinating stuff. While they're here, do we want to? Does one of your students actually want to come over and introduce themselves?
Yes.
This might be a very good time for that. Who do we have back here? In fact, how would you like to come over and sit in the chair? Yes. And we just want to introduce because I think this is such a great program that Irene has. What is your name? Ira? What? Ira what? Ira Mora. Are you in any relationship to Irene Mora?
Yes, she's my mom.
She's your mom. Oh, so you brought your daughter, and
yes,
your daughter is a student in your own school.
Well, I'm gonna allow her to speak and let her know about her thoughts. She's been trained out of flight since she was 7, and I think I want to give you a little bit of your own thoughts and feelings how you've been trained.
Well, actually, it was a great experience because when I was a kid, I would always see her fly, and I was fascinated, so I wanted to try it, and I started doing it, and I was like, wow, this is fun. I wanted to keep on doing it. You know?
Now, let me ask you, what was the, have you flown a plane already?
Yes, I have.
What age was it that you first flew a plane?
Ooh.
She was very little.
I mean, like, specifically, like, I was the captain.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
I mean, what's the first time you sat in a plane and held the controls and flew a little bit?
What age was I?
You were 7.
7.
7 years old. So that's definitely starting them.
Yes. Well, tell you your story a little bit about it. How did you get into the airplane that day? So let the televiewers and listener knows how you've been very fascinated about the airplane.
Because when she's always in flight, she would always take me with her, and I would always see her flying. I was like, wow, how does she do this? And I was inspired actually, so I wanted to try it.
Wow, well that's great. So now, is this what you want in your life? You want to be a pilot now?
It's been one of my dreams, honestly. Yeah.
Well, so this is she's going to follow in her mother's footsteps.
Yes, that's the continuity, Eric. That's the training of the continuity.
Now you have how many? So you have 4 children?
I have 4, yes.
4 children.
From the south, the north, the east, the west of the Philippines.
and your children, you're Ira, and you have another Isaiah, Shoji, and one named Light Dawn.
Light Dawn is a pilot too.
Like Don is a pilot too. So you have not only you have children, you have fascinating names for your kids.
Yes, actually, because I was not the one who gave birth to them. Well, I will allow Ira to explain about that.
Actually, we were all adopted. It was really a great experience because we get to have a mom like her. So I'm really thankful.
Oh yeah, the fact that the Philippines needs more of that. In just my own opinion, adopting children.
Yes,
I think one of the things that when I hear stories like this, it makes me just feel good because right now there's problems with population. Everybody's having babies over and over, and what we need is more parents. Not necessarily more babies.
More parents in home, actually, Eric. The thing that they asked me the last time were just like, oh, Mom, thank you for giving us home and giving us education. Actually, that's all they need. And so many people who ask me, it's like, oh, now that you're married, you want to have your own children? So it's like, oh, my God, I have 4 and my husband has 7. So I think we have a lot of children to put them into educations. And
so he has 7 children and you have 4 children.
And I have 4.
So you almost have a volleyball tournament.
Exactly.
You just need to have one more child.
That's why we need a trainer like you.
Well, thank you so much, Ira. Who else do we have back here?
That's Light Dawn on the age of 16.
Let's talk to Light Dawn. Light Dawn, would you like to come up? Now, let me ask you first of all, and I'm not sure everybody's interested. Where does your name come from?
Oh, it came from the Bible.
It came from the Bible.
Yeah.
Light Dawn from is there someone named in the Bible? Light
actually,
Dawn?
Light Dawn has a very good story. She came over to me like about 5 or 6 years ago, and she already got her name. It's very pretty biblical. I have my other son, which is Isaiah. I named him Isaiah because that was my favorite verses when I was young. My father would always tell me that Isaiah 14. Because I'm not very good in memorizing, but I'm very good in having my checklist and remembering the very good thing. Wherever you go, you do not be afraid because I'm always with you. So that's the name I got it with Isaiah. So Light Dawn is a sign of like light. And when it's dawn, I used to be like so sad at the time that it's dawn time when I was a child. Mm-hmm. So right now, light is giving us light, and dawn reminds me of like, wow, why do I'm scared of the dark when I was a little young girl?
Yeah, it's kind of boring. But I went to school with the Cake family. There was strawberry, there was chocolate. I'm not kidding. I went to school with Harley Davidson. But their names are kind of silly, but your name actually is very meaningful. And now that I've heard it, when I was first looking at it, I was like, wow, what kind of name is that? And now that I've heard the story behind it, it's a very fascinating thing. So you're interested, you want to be a pilot, you want to be a commercial pilot as well.
Yeah, I want.
And how much longer do you have to go before you can actually get up in the air and fly a plane?
It's when you have the courage, or it's when you get excited.
And now, do you have to train for 100 hours or a couple hundred hours or something like that?
You just have to train for ground schooling.
Ground schooling.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can start your flying.
Then you can start flying.
Yep.
Has your mother let you take the controls already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has flown a lot of times already, but now she's studying at the same time. Well, she's taking up accountancy. So we have the complete crew. We have the pilots. We have the certified accountant. And we have the management. And I have the architect. So we have the complete crew at home.
Wow. This is so you never have to leave the house. You never have to leave the family. I mean, this is great. Now, just out of curiosity, I know that because if I was you and Irene was my mother and she gave me the controls of the plane, I would try and scare her a little bit and just turn it really quick. But she's very strict. Is she when she puts you behind the controls? Are you very, very good, or do you how was it when you were flying the plane? Was it scary?
No, it's not.
It's not scary.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's great. I know. I wish I was a pilot, but I don't think anybody would dare put me behind it.
Actually, you're on record. You almost wanted to take off. I remember you still have a record on me that you really wanted to fly. But I think it's never too late. It's never too late.
Wanting to and actually doing are two different things. Now we have one other person who we have our male flying. We have Now, we've been talking a lot about women pilots, but now we actually have a male
Man
pilot.
flight too.
Man flight. What is your name?
My name is B. James B. Buwan.
Oh, okay. Very, very nice. Where are you from?
I'm from General Santos City.
General Santos. Now, how long have you been here in Manila?
I've been here since June 22.
Did you?
Just 3 days yet.
Yeah. Now, did you come here just to be a pilot?
Yes.
You wanted to be a pilot.
Yes, I want to be a pilot.
Now, you come from General Santos in Mindanao, which
Yes.
sometimes would be considered a poor area in the country. How do you? I mean, flight school. Partly one of the reasons why I never went to flight school. It is crazy expensive.
Yes.
And how is it that you can come from all the way down to Mindanao and come up to Manila and be in this high-end flight school?
There's always a God. God
There's
will
always a
provide.
God.
Yes.
That is true.
God will provide.
God helps us in a lot of different
God
ways.
helps us in different ways. You'll never know where is it coming from. But
Yes.
I think I would like to speak on behalf of James a little quickly that
Yes.
he actually literally came from the tribes of
Blaan.
Blaan. I'd like you to talk about your Blaan culture and how did you manage to get out of that culture, and you actually fascinated about flying and you wanted to open doors and another opportunity to your tribes back in Jensen, where I've seen your tribes has a lot of beautiful people, Eric. You cannot imagine that when you say it's a lot of poor, I don't have explanation about the words poor. When I went there literally and visited the area, I was very surprised that the Philippines is not so poor after all. So I don't have exactly the exact explanation what's the word is P-O-O-R.
Yeah, well, poor, see, if you think about it theoretically, it's not necessarily about money. Sometimes it can be about culture. Sometimes it can be about family. You can be rich in family and rich in culture, maybe not have so much money, but, sometimes what does the word actually really mean?
Right. So when I met this kid, he's an artist. He's an electrician. He's like he's everything. He's like his father is one of the most highly educated pastor or highest
Senior pastor.
highest pastor of our senator now, Manny Pacquiao, Pastor Boy Blaan, Boy Buwan from the Blaan tribes.
Yes.
He is one of the highly spiritual and the highly respected man that the very first man his father graduated and get out of that tribe's Blaan. So it was a very, very deep history where this kid is coming from. And then when he came and approached me, that's like, my God, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think God has sent you to me to find out where I am going. And then so when he came and passed everything, I said, like, this is what you're born for.
That's an absolutely fabulous story. Well, listen, how do you say your name again?
B. James B. Buwan.
B. James B. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show here. We will follow your career and see how it comes along. We're very happy to hear what you're doing here at the Mora Flight Academy, and the best of luck to you to get to that point where you can sit behind the speaker and go, this is your captain.
Things speaking.
Will be.
Well, Eric, the Blaan tribes are listening right now since we broadcast it and everyone are listening. I think I'd like to hear that you are saying hello to them in your own language.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. Let's hear
I
that.
cannot talk in my own language because I was born and I was grown up in Kidapawan City.
But you're Jensen, in Jensen dialect. You can talk to them in Jensen dialect.
Magandang mayong buntag sa inyo tanan. Nandito po ako sa Manila. Nag-aaral po ako ng pilot. I just wanted to say hello to you.
All right.
Thank you.
That's we are generally an English speaking show, but we love to hear you speak in your dialect.
Yes,
that was very
because
nice.
in our academy, Eric, we have what you call our own language is what? Aviator. But literally, we all speak English, but all of my students has their own dialect. and their own languages.
Oh, okay.
We have one from Papua. Unfortunately, it's Sabbath day, so Shabbat Shalom. He was not able to make it. And we have more people from Norway, but he was not able to make it also. We got a lot more people behind back doors, but I can't, manage to put them all together in my car.
I was going to say, since you drove a pickup truck today, I don't know how you get them all here.
I know, and I think it's just blocking the street right now. So I'm scared when I get down, the police will take it. I hope not.
So if there are any police listening to the show today, please, if you see a giant orange truck sticking out from the DZRJ radio station, please don't tow it. But anyway, we're very happy that you were on the show today, and thank you so much. And we'll follow you along and see how your career comes along.
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you. Now, back to other things. Now, we have been, unfortunately, we're not ignoring Mary Carl over here.
The most exciting, we got a lot of things to talk about. Mary Carl, my dear.
I just wanted to say hello to Mary Carl. I sort of have not been saying so much to you because I'm a little bit shy. Mary Carl is very beautiful. And in fact, I would be very happy. I think you'll go very far as being a captain, not necessarily because of flying, because everybody will want to hire you.
Yes.
But tell us a little bit about your background and why you all of a sudden, in the middle of life, decided you wanted to be an airline pilot.
Okay, there was a time this year I was dreaming of flying an airplane. And then when I woke up, I told everybody, my mom, my brother, my friends, that I want to learn how to fly an airplane. And they're all shocked because all they knew that I just do modeling, TV commercials, print ads. I take care of my daughter. And then I do, by the side, the real estate. I sell properties.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're all shocked about my decision that, wow, you want to be a pilot? And then they're all surprised. And then there was a time I was walking in the mall, and then I met this one friend of mine. And then she introduced me to Captain Irene. And I didn't know that she's already a pilot. And then in one event, she gave me a calling card. And then I saw that, oh my God, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I think God is bringing me to her.
Mm-hmm.
God is sending me to her, to push or to go to my dream. She motivates me that I ask too many questions about like, how can I be a pilot? So I go to her school and submit all the requirements, and now I continuously studying all the lessons. And I'm so happy that God is leading me to her to be my mentor, my teacher, my guide. No, I'm so happy that I'm in Manila Aero Club Flying Academy.
Wow, it sounds like God is your marketing director at Mora Airlines. He's bringing everybody to all these wonderful people to the flying school. But that's just it's very fascinating. Now, how old are you now? Can I ask that question?
Yeah, I'm turning 38 this July.
Turning what?
38.
38?
Yeah.
And at what age did you decide that you wanted to be a pilot?
Just this year, 37.
37?
Yeah.
See, that's a very interesting thing. That, a lot of times you think, people, they start, after college. It's like, okay, you go to aviation, you go to engineering school, and then you go to aviation school. However, you decided that you wanted to be a pilot at 37 or 38. So, I mean, it just goes to show that just about anybody can decide that they want to be a
it's
pilot.
Never too late.
It's never too
My
late.
last student actually was 55 years old. He was Australian. He graduated, and right now he's back in Australia and flying to the Good Samaritan pilots also, which is it's one spiritual group with charity works that has hundreds of airplanes they own, and right now he's flying one of those planes with that company. He was 55-year-old, Eric. So never too late. You're just 40.
Yes, let's just keep saying that over and over every year. That leads me to another question. I know you've done medical transports. We've talked about this before. You've done things other than just flying commercial airlines or flying rich people in private planes around to show them the Philippines. You've also done some Samaritan type work in flying patients and drugs back.
Yes. It's a medevac flight. We're doing a lot of medical evacuation, And of course, whenever there is disasters, we were the first pilot to actually go and fly there, bringing foods and some sort of medications to those disasters area. And in our country, it's not like back in America, Eric, wherein the government provides a lot of facilities or aircraft or boats, wherein we always have a lot of typhoons in this country, and the disasters area until now hasn't even been solved. So most actually always getting an airplane from us, but by just for the use of bringing them good deeds, actually medications. So we focus more on medivacs, livestocks, and at the same time VIP flights. You can be VIP too.
Yeah. I was thinking about maybe because you have it on the radio, I can get a discount.
Yeah,
on one
well,
of those
definitely,
VIP
I'll take you whenever you wanted to. Just wish for the good weather, and we'll fly up there.
10% off the
we have 50% off, buddy. No worries.
You get there 50% off the champagne, probably.
Yeah, definitely. You have a free champagne as well before takeoff and landing.
Yeah, well, okay. So let's get back to the Flying Academy again. I just want to make sure that we've touched on all the things on that Flying Academy. So, if anybody wants, they can come in. Now, this is not just a Flying Academy for the little Cessna planes, the little single engine and double engine planes, which is what I think when you think of Flying Academy. I'm like, they're taking me up in the little plane and I'm circling around and coming around. You also teach people to be commercial airline pilots.
Yes, ATPL. Well, you got to start from the 0 hours. Actually, by law, you have to take 40 hours by law, and then you have to continuously taking more hours to build more time, and you'll reach your 120 to 220 hours for your commercial. So if you only wanted to get the PPL, which is private pilot license, not so many people knows the abbreviation of the aviation. So then you can't make money out of it because you are just having your private pilot license. So if you wanted to continue and wanted to get more commercial, so mostly my question is, you wanted to fly for a hobby or a career? Otherwise, you're wasting your time because to fly this as a hobby is a very expensive hobby.
Yes,
and that's why I thought when I first started to fly, I just really wanted to fly actually as a hobby because I wanted to be an acrobatic pilot. That's all what I wanted to do, and I wanted to fly the skydiver, So that's all what I want. But then it's really very expensive hobby, and I said no, I can't just keep digging, you big pothole at the back and throwing your money into it with no return of investment. So over the years, I started learning and studying that I have to open an education wherein everybody can learn the best knowledge in the sky.
Now you said something there that I just want to go back on. So were you a stunt pilot before? Hold on. Actually, you know what? I just got a sign from the girls behind the window. But I really want to go into this thing about the stunt pilot.
Stunt pilot.
Stunt pilot stuff.
Talk about that
This
later
this is something I want to know about because I love watching stunt pilots fly all around and do all the twisting of things. So we're going to do that. Well, right now we're going to take a quick commercial break. This is DZRJ Radio, revolutions per minute, and we'll be right back. We're back at Revolutions Per Minute on DZRJ Radio. You can call in today if you'd like to make a comment or have a question. The numbers are 895-4460 or 897-8374. Today we're talking about what it's like to be a pilot. We have two pilots. We have Maricol Tolosa here. She is a model turned pilot. And of course, Captain Irene Mora, who's been here telling us about her flight school and her flight services and so forth. Now, right before we went away, she was about to tell us a little bit about what it's like to be a stunt pilot and how do you actually become a stunt pilot?
A stunt pilot. All right. Okay. Well, a stunt pilot is actually a very whole new world. When you talk about a stunt pilot, you got to jump out of an airplane. That's skydiving. You actually literally flying out of a safe aircraft.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming that you're a skydiver as well.
I do skydive too. Yes. Yeah, so I mean, skydiving is actually we do fly skydiver as well on weekend. Supposed to be today we have flight, but we prioritize the show to you.
Of course.
Yeah, so skydiver. So everybody that are also wanting to overcome their fear. So a lot of people I've met, Eric, are so afraid of heights. And since I was a little girl, I'm not afraid. I don't know what this fear is all about.
Obviously, you married an American black man from the U.S. military in the middle of life. You have no fear about anything. By the way, we're getting to that, so don't think I haven't left that out.
Oh my God, you're going to point my life.
With the skydiving, so anybody can come over to your thing, and you'll take them up and push them out of a plane.
Yeah, and we push them out of the plane as long as they have the courage to actually jump out literally of a safe aircraft. Then you overcome your fear. It's just about overcoming your fear, Eric.
Yes, I mean I've done skydiving before. I did it once in the U.S. I did the tandem jump. And I did it one time. One time was enough for me. Being terrified for about 50 seconds during the free fall. I love when the chute opens, because the chute opens and it's very nice because you have controls and you can go around and everything. And it's more like a Disney ride. It's that 50-second fall that I only needed to, it's a bucket list thing. I cross it off. I'm done with that.
You're done with that. You don't want to do any free fall or anything like that.
I'm good with falling once. I fall enough already down the stairs and in the shower, and so I'm okay with that. But people can, we'll talk about later about how to contact Irene. So, but also, I know that you go up to Kragh sometimes and you do air shows.
Yes, we do that every year. We have an international air show, and that's every February at Kragh International Airport. And I invited you several times, but you're always busy. And now I didn't know that you're already, having the show. So I'm glad that we have managed our time to catch up. But next year, this coming February, we have another air show there.
Okay, that sounds very exciting, because I know as a kid, I used to love to go. My mother used to take me to the air show in North Carolina, and we would go to the air show. Of course, we're kids. We're waiting for somebody to crash. Come on, why are they going to crash? But nobody ever crashed.
No.
But it was absolutely spectacular, and that was 40 years ago. That was a long time ago. And now I know that the air shows have gotten very, very complicated. Got that out of the way finally. Marlyn, I know she's very big on the family values. And
I know Marlyn. I admire her. Say hello, Marlyn. Hi, if you're listening.
Marlyn, who's having her Danish in Denmark right now.
You better share that one when you come back to the Philippines.
Which, by the way, speaking of family, you recently got married, and I was lucky enough to meet your husband, and he is a wonderful man. He's a big, robust black man from the U.S. military.
Yes.
And it's here again. It's never too late. It's just like being a pilot. What's it like now? You're married. You're married to an American. What's that been like, and how is that?
Well, Eric, honestly, this is the best, and is one of the best thing I've ever done in my life. Is to get married.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say the opposite thing. Oh my God, what did I do? I've gotten married. But that's great to hear that someone says, you know what, that's the best thing I've ever done.
And you don't want to know why?
Tell me why.
But honestly, it's from the bottom of my heart, the best thing that I ever did. Most people say it's like, wow, you're glad. I mean, I never heard that the best thing you did was, going into a zero gravity. I mean, jumping out of an airplane, going into underwater in the zero gravity. We've never heard anything that accomplished or fulfilled your life. But I think the best thing I did is when I get married. Because I really learned so much about myself. Not so much about my husband, because I have an entire life to get to know him. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, knowing yourself, wherein you really done everything in your life before you never thought you were going to do it. Because, you've met all of my exes. Speaking of ex, well, I know that we're supposed not to talk about that one here, but, you are my friend for a long time, and my life. It's an open book, and I think when I get married, God sent me this wonderful man, and totally opposite of what I ever dreamed of, having a man, being, married with someone like him. He's a very family man, and he loves life. He's been into the military for all of his life. He actually devoted all of his life into a military life, and He's very spiritual person, also very deep. We totally understand the values of the family, although he has 7 children from different women, and that's, United Colors of Benetton. But, he's done everything. He's done everything in his life. I mean, he actually totally explored his life to the fullest, that when we met each other, we know that this is the right person for me.
And is he involved? Is he a pilot? Is he a pilot as well? Or?
He's an airborne, actually, infantry. So
infantry.
Yes, it's an infantry. You know what infantry is all about.
That's where you jump out of the plane, and as you're parachuting down, you shoot.
Yeah,
okay.
and then you shoot people. I mean, but legally. He killed people legally. Okay.
Yes.
So that's what his job is.
Okay.
So if it's so he was in the military for so long, then at the U.S. Embassy based in our country, and he's of course a diplomat, one very very gentleman, and we met each other at the gym, and you know how buff I am when it comes to my health.
Well, I know, I know that not only are you a pilot, but you're also an avid boxer.
Yes, I love boxing because my father taught me how to box, actually, because he loves Muhammad Ali. So rip Muhammad Ali. But yes, and then here we come, our friend, the Senator Manny Pacquiao, the people's champ. So I was once at the team for quite some times, and I fell in love more in boxing, and I think I'm not going to stop. But I'm not going to go into the competition or go to the ring too, because I have so much things to lose,
Well,
Cool.
it's called Chindung East Star Airlines, and they train flight attendants there. And I saw the pictures and the video of their training, and the flight attendants there are absolutely gorgeous. They're beautiful women, and they train them to wrestle. And to fight, and they jiu-jitsu moves, military moves. They wear fatigues. They run through mud. They carry logs up hills. They do all this incredible training to be able to deal with unruly passengers.
Actually, for pilots and flight attendants, that's very important. Like my beautiful pilot here on my left, Marie Carl, she actually never stopped to amaze me, because with her busy schedule, she also goes to training. Actually, she never missed to train. And that's one thing I saw from her, that she was very disciplined. And the main reason why the China has that kind of quality is because, yes, there are so many rude people you will encounter. Not even on flight, even on the ground too, So I think my flight attendant or my crew or my pilot, I would train them to do that. So my kids, personally, I train them on my own. So that way it can help them. So during the time, I know that this kind of training will help yourself and your crew.
Have you? Have you ever been on an airline? I mean, you've ever been flying on a plane? And what's the worst passenger you've ever had on a flight?
Oh my God! There's a lot of things, Eric. I don't think we'll finish our 1 hour and a half.
What's the number one? What's the worst passenger you've ever had?
The worst passenger I've ever had. This is the first person it came into my mind. I had this Sheikh passenger. Speaking of Sheikh, he was actually from a Sheikh of Bangladesh, so the richest man in Bangladesh. Okay, could you ever imagine that? But he's actually Singaporean. He was based in Singapore and was looking for a flight when he came, because his jet was parked right in front of our airport.
Oh, he's one
hangar.
of those kind of passengers. Yes.
So he came over here and lost $3 million for one sitting in the casino at Resort World. And I just came. It was one weekend like this. And then, the manager of Resort World called me and was telling me that, hey, Captain, I have some very VIP request that looking for an airplane tomorrow. But I thought somehow he wanted to learn how to fly. So then, of course, my normal understanding was just to give him an explanation. He came over to me and started shouting at me, "Why the hell did I have come over here at San Lorenzo Village?" So he started shouting at me as if he cursed me so badly, because I was wearing my shorts. I just came back from running.
Okay, so you're not on the plane. This is not an actual passenger on the plane.
No, he was going to be my passenger. I was not on the plane yet. So to make the story short, he was about to fly that day. But because I wanted the driver to pick me up to go to the hangar, to the airport to get the plane, he started shouting at me and says that, where is my pilot? I said, "Sir, excuse me, I'm going to be your pilot for today, but I think I need you to sit down for a little while and calm down." So he got into my office, he saw my picture, right, and he started looking at, I said, "Oh my God, are you are you literally my pilot? I said, yes, sir. But, oh, I'm so sorry. So his mood swing changed.
Yeah, when you're about to put your life in the hands of the person that you've just been yelling at, you probably want to say, okay, all right, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
And then afterward, I realized that he's got a lot of bodyguards, just like parked right in front of our house. And the security guards came over and said, Mom, we apologize. There's a lot of people that are coming over here, because he started blasting like crazy, man. I was like, oh my Jesus.
Well, speaking of one of the things you were talking about before, and there's an interesting story in the news that kind of correlates with what you were saying before. As you fly and you help people, you deliver medicines and you deliver medical supplies and so forth to people. Bill Gates is in the news again, and we all love Bill Gates. He is the co-founder of a company called Microsoft, I believe. And Bill Gates is the richest man in the world.
Of course, everybody knows him.
And somebody, some people say
I wouldn't mind flying him.
Yeah,
and flying him and deliver all the goods that you wanted to deliver to a lot of distressed area.
Well, it's very interesting because Bill Gates is a bit of a philanthropist, and he is constantly giving money away to poor countries. But Bill Gates got an interesting idea that delivered chickens. And he wanted to deliver 100,000 chickens, live chickens to developing nations. The co-founder from Microsoft says that chickens are better than computers or the internet for reducing poverty because they are inexpensive, reproduce and supply food for revenue sources with both their eggs and meat. However, Bolivia said, one of the poorest countries in the world, said, thanks, but no thanks. We don't want your chickens. The rural development minister said they found it rude that someone so rich was offering them just chickens, and that people, especially from the U.S., still sees the Bolivians as beggars. We're not beggars. We don't need your chickens. Thank you, but take your chickens back. And so I found...
You have to bring that to the Philippines. We definitely need more chicken.
I'm like, in the Philippines, we love our chicken.
Yeah.
Bring them back to the Philippines. Have you ever had, and I can ask this to you and Miss Marikal, have you ever had a gift that somebody gave you and you're like, I don't want this? This is and I've had this happen to me before. Is somebody gives you a gift and something that you really don't want, and do you say, I really don't want this gift, or do you just take it and say thank you very much and then think about who maybe you could re-gift it to?
For me, Eric, I'm a very simple person. Even if you give me, look, for example, today I'm wearing this earring that I never saw before. It's from my eldest son. He gave this to me 6 years ago. And I just saw this today, and I keep it from the bottom of my heart. He told me one day, Mom, I only have like 50 pesos that I really kept this in my heart for so long, but this is Mother's Day. I didn't know what even Mother's Day is all about. But he gave me this earring, and he told me that this is my birthday present for you. My Mother's Day present for you, because I don't have anything. I'm still young. And he was like he's 18 now. So 5 years ago, he was around 14. And I keep it. And I never say no to people who give me something. Because most of the time, Eric, I'm the one giving it. Yeah. So when I receive something, I truly valued it. Even if, normally, sometimes the inside doesn't matter to me. But even the box, I keep it. Until now, I have all these boxes that I keep all my life. And my mom said, you got to throw all these kind of things. I said, no, come on, someone give it to me. So you don't need to touch all these things, because I'm very, I valued so much every little thing. Pilot, and to have a beautiful classmate, beauty queen like my co-pilot today, Marikal Tolosa, she actually inspired me so much as well. I've never seen such a student, such a beauty queen that has that humble heart. Mostly of the beauty queen has that high altitude, And when I met Marikal Tolosa, and we were driving all the way going to the airport, and I was just like, oh, it seems, do I know this person? So I called her and I said, are you a model of one of these commercial? And then the next street, and right in front of the bus, she was right in front of me. I said, I didn't know that you're that famous. So I didn't know that I have that famous student like you too. Okay, I have a very VIP student right now coming from Papua New Guinea. And now I have this most beautiful, charming, beautiful woman in the country. And she was very humble, and she actually literally focused herself to study, and I told her that just keep going. If you really love what you do and you're very passionate about what you're doing, then you'll go through it. And that's where Marikal right now is. We're about to take off anytime soon, and she's very well prepared mentally, physically, emotionally.
So basically, Marikal, you would say that you are a pilot who's down to earth?
Well, when I'm studying with Captain Mora in Manila Aero Club Flying Academy, I also take care of my daughter, bring her to school, and time management is really important when you're studying.
Now, are you a single mom?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, so you're able to balance your family, getting her to school and everything,
Yes.
and then going through this whole flying academy, and also working at the same time.
Yes.
A
Yeah.
very hardworking person. I mean, speaking about her background, she was a flight attendant at a very young age, and she got pregnant also at a very young age. So I told her, look at me, I have 4 kids. This is like, wow, you're a single mother too. It's like, I'm a mom and a dad of my 4 kids that are not even mine. So you got to do that yourself, because I know you can do it. If I can do it, everybody can do it.
Well, that's definitely an inspiration in this country, where there are so many single mothers who have just sort of given up and moved back to the province and will just live with their families. To show that there's a way. If you have the perseverance and you want to do it, you can not only can you take care of your kid, you can have a job, but you can also look ahead to things that maybe are your dreams, such as flying and being able to go to school and work and take care of the kid. And it sounds very hard, but somehow people do it.
Yes. Perseverance.
I mean, obviously that's just a fabulous story. I was trying to figure out a way that I could segue back into the news, but we've kind of diverted away from it. But it's great because it's okay. We can go to any other things. Talking about being able to deal with all the difficult things in life. And now I know in the Philippines right now, we're about to get a new president. Things are changing. It's going to be, we're on the cusp of seeing what is next. And for the Philippine people, and even in the U.S. right now, we're about to have an election in the U.S., which is going to be very interesting. There is, this is a very sharp turn out of this to go into politics, because we don't really go into politics so much on this show, because we really look at what we think is be the life and things that we can talk about that people at home can relate to. Although in the news today, I mean, I just wanted to touch on this really quick. There was an incident in Florida recently where a Muslim man walked into a gay bar and pulled out a gun and shot a lot of people.
Yeah, I've seen the news. It was very sad.
It's a very, very sad thing that happened in the U.S., and it talks a little bit about gun control. And there was a lot of stories that came out about the families, and the families talked about what it was like to, the heartache and everything that came as a thing. And I know there's a lot of bad news that always comes out of the Philippines, and we're always trying to figure out ways. People they look at the Philippines and all the news that comes out about, there's always a problem with the military, or there's a terrorist problem, or there's a weather problem here. We're always trying to focus on. And so I'm hoping that, and especially with having you guys on the show, that we're inspiring people around all these crazy news things.
Yeah, well, actually, Eric, at home, I don't really watch the news or anything that bad. My husband, he's an American, all right? He's like you. He monitor all the news 24 hours a day, and he knows everything from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, because he was here. He was at the U.S. Embassy for a long time, and he knows all this kind of bad news, and he would always aware me and things like that. And I was like, wow. Now, one thing that I realized when I get married is this television I bought years and years ago has been opened, and it's just open for the news. And I chose not to watch the news, because I'm a kind of person that very, very positive. I'd like to talk about positive things, about beautiful things that happens. And, it's there are so many beautiful things that are happening in the Philippines that has not been focused to talk to. And I think I would rather be in that position wherein I can be an inspiration, or that kind of leader wherein I can actually lead the new generation, not literally pilots, but leaders like you, like other people that who wanted to be a leader first from home. It's got to be start from home to be a very positive person and have that compassion and passionate, and you have that good values to start with. I think I would rather want it to be in that position where I can I can deliver a very good news to everyone.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's. I think that that pretty much says it all. Now, when I used to sit and watch the news. I'm just like your husband. I tend to watch the news like all the time, and then I kind of stopped. And then I started like just looking at the back page of newspapers and reading the news from the thing, because that was the news that kind of entertained me a lot of the times. But anyway, let's we have a lot more to talk about. We have to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment on DZRJ Radio, Revolutions Per Minute. Hang on, we'll be right back. Hi, we're back at Revolutions Per Minute on DZRJ Radio, and we're here talking to Marlyn Tolosa, who is a pilot, commercial airline pilot student, and also a beauty queen, and our own captain, Irene Mora. We've been sitting here talking about many, many different topics. One of the topics that I wanted to discuss is, there's a lot of change coming in the world soon. In the Philippines, we have a new president-elect. There's been some issues going on in Europe now, where with the EU. In the U.S., we have an election coming up. In fact, there was a story that came out. I was reading in the paper this morning, actually, and I was deciding whether I was going to actually tell this story, because we've been talking about how God has helped us through so many things. And this is kind of a quirky story about a man in Virginia, and he was building a new bathroom, and he finished his bathroom, and he was so happy with the way his bathroom came out, he decided to give it a try. So he's sitting in his bathroom on the toilet, and he looks down on the tile floor, and he sees the image of Donald Trump in one of the tiles. And I know, they have, people sometimes see Jesus in a piece of toast or in a pizza. And I saw there was a story that came out about somebody saw the image of Elvis in Mars, but no one's ever seen the image of a presidential nominee. And I thought, this is such a fascinating story. And he actually, according to him, he called up Donald Trump, the Trump people, and tried to get Donald Trump to come to his house to see his image in the tile. But I hear that they haven't actually responded yet. But what do you think of this guy? I mean, I don't know if you've had a chance to, because I know the reason I'm bringing this up is because your husband is an American and he's a military guy.
Yes.
And we don't like to talk about politics sometimes in the Philippines, because I know everybody expects it, but it's a good way to get yourself blocked on Facebook. So I try and stay away from that sometimes. But right. Open season on you. And since you're married to an American, the U.S. Election is coming up. What do you think of this guy, Trump?
Trump, actually, all right. So my husband used to work for Hillary, and of course, I cannot say much about what do I think and say about Trump. Business-wise, I think I like him because he has a very good sense in business in a way. He's a very smart guy. Well, we're very close to Trump Tower right here. Well. So anyway, business sense, I think he's very good. But diplomatically, I think what I think only. This is what I think only. I don't think that we, as a president, we could always lead with our possessiveness in many things. I think he's kind of very possessive with many things, especially literally when he speaks on television. And of course, we have our own Trump in the Philippines, which is our new president, Duterte.
He has been compared to Donald Trump.
He has been comparing to Donald Trump. But as I get to know closer about President-elect Duterte, I think he has this actually very strong personality wherein he meant what he says. And for Trump itself, I mean, Duterte is already a politician.
Yeah, I think you touched on it. I don't really find them all that comparable.
Yes. So I cannot compare the both of them, because Duterte, ever since from the memorial, ever since from the beginning, from his father to his family, they're all politicians. But Trump is a very smart businessman, and I think in that business sense of a way, My husband, I don't know whom is he going to vote, whether it is Hillary Clinton or Trump. But for me, he always watches the shows, and I don't think he likes Trump, or I don't think we really never talk about it. Who it is. We don't have that much of argumentation about politics at home. We always have this harmonious relationship.
I think that might be a good thing, because I've heard in the past couple of months during the election, a lot of families broke up because of politics.
Well, me and my husband is so funny, because when I get home, I'm so tired already. I'm about to sleep, and he would just tell me all the stories, and we just laugh at it. We both laugh at it. It's just like an entertainment now. And since he's a military man, he's very smart. He's seen everything inside and outside of politics. So he really didn't put our relationship into, hey, I'm going to vote for him, I'm going to vote for that. But we don't have that at home.
Well, yeah, because I know for me, Donald Trump has been an inspiration to Americans to show that anybody could be the president.
Yes.
even me,
it's like anybody can fly, but not anyone can be a pilot.
Anybody can run for president, but not everybody can be a president. I just, there's it's just so many things that I find confusing. And we were going to talk about this just a little bit in the go in the news, and I don't want to stay away from politics, but politics can be so funny sometimes with the things that they are. And I was just watching TV last night, and that's the reason I brought this up, because they were talking on television, and Trump was going on. He was outraged at the issue that the incident that happened in Florida with the Muslim and the gays. The Muslim came in and shot many gay people, crazy. And he was asking for Obama's resignation, that he shouldn't let the Muslims come into the country. And I'm just confused, because I know that Donald Trump doesn't like Muslims or gays, and so why is he so outraged with somebody that got killed? But that goes along to another issue about guns and gun control, and I know that's something that they're working on here in the Philippines.
I'm a loving person, and I don't, as much as I love shooting, I don't really want to own any guns. You don't see any guns near me, or not even at home, or I don't even want it to have a security guards or whatever. I think I'm a very peace-loving citizen, Eric, with regards to that. We talk about when you practice peace and loving, and I think you'll got all these kind of things. But if you promote guns, and if you buy guns in a very easy and not gun responsible owner, I think that's what we get, because not everyone, all those people who buys guns, are mentally able or capable.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you just made that statement, because that statement actually means a lot about having kids and not having guns at home. And the story about a person, and it's people saying we need to get rid of guns, and then it's not so much guns that kill people, people kill people. And actually, there was another story that I just read that just came to mind. I was going through a bunch of newspapers the other day about in Japan, guns you can have a gun, and you can be a gun owner and be responsible.
And be responsible, yeah.
And enjoy that thing. It's just the issue of being able to have guns that can shoot 50 rounds in a minute.
But I think in America, it's so easy to buy guns just like that. I think in the Philippines, it's not that so easy to have your gun. You have to be licensed, and you have to get your license. You have to have your background check and everything like that. But as a businesswoman or a pilot, we're allowed to carry guns, but I tend not to, and I don't want going nearby to any guns, Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, in that mentality of mine, I think better I get away from it. And when I see that there is troubles or negative or things like that they're fighting about, better to get away from it. We can't change the world. I mean, the world is going crazier and crazier and crazier, but at home, I practice this little sense of serenity, where what you call is the journey beyond your spirituality, where, of course, so many people have their own Bible, which is what you call your own library at home. So I tend to practice this to my kids, to my own family, to my mom, because it's only me and my mom right now, and my husband and my kids. And the rest of my crew, my students. So I holistically gave them the process of teaching, wherein they have to be harmoniously and harmless, but aware of what's coming. It's like, having this physical training, like the China's level of philosophy. They train. It's like kind of training your fleet to actually be prepared to what's coming. But then when you are not prepared spiritually and at the same time you are not prepared physically, that's what happens, and you totally become lunatic and you became just crazy because you don't believe in anything. You just believe into something that what will happen tomorrow, but your spiritual is hungry. You are thirsty into something that you are never filled. What is exactly we're here for? What am I here for? Who sent us here? What is actually the meaning of my life to be on earth, to be here in this planet? So those kind of questions that so many people don't tackle about, and that's something very deep in spirituality journey beyond who we are and what exactly the purpose of your life to live and your legacy. If you're gonna die tomorrow, Eric, what are you going to do? What are we on? What do you want it to be remembered? I think those kind of very quality kind of values to everybody should be teach. Way back, I still remember we have some kind of what you call ROTC. This ROTC is like very much physical training. You back in the States, we have this what you called, you got to go to the class wherein everybody's go to, physical training. But then in the Philippines, long time ago, they demolished the ROTC. So I've heard this time it's back again because my another daughter who just got enrolled, she told me that, wow, Mom, I have an ROTC class. And I said, what did you do? So it's like a military training wherein holistically every people are being trained how to have that kind of values, to have that kind of question. What am I here for? When you reach that age where you don't know what you wanted to do, you become so lunatic and you didn't overcome all the problems that's been given to you. I mean, you are not prepared.
Yeah, there was a man that was here on the radio a couple of weeks ago, and he spoke about that too, about that, after we go through our childhood and we do our education and then we go out in the world and we make money, after that, what is there? And it is significance. What is our significance in the world, in the planet, in our own life, in the universe? And
that small dot, Eric, is very important. And that is a very small, not even that you can see this kind of question that we should ask to ourselves as a person. But, I lost one very good friend of mine before we end. I just want to share this to a lot of listeners and to you as well and to, to my pilot here, that I lost one of my good friend. He committed suicide back in the States. And this guy is very famous in Hollywood. His name is Rocky Fry. And Rocky Fry is the king of props. If you see about the movies, all these kind of movies about aliens and everything, he's the maker of that, back in the States. If you are familiar about the science fictions, all these kind of science fiction movies has been made by him. And he done everything in his life. But then one time before he committed suicide, he wanted to invite me to come over to California. And I says he was trying to call me. I was about to take off going to Canada. And a week later, I found out that he committed suicide. But then he said to me that, Irene, I've seen so many significant things I've never seen in my life back in California. But when I started diving, he was my mentor in skydiving. He trained me to be the best skydiver. He trained me to be the best I can be. And he was in the military for so long. And he's very famous in Hollywood with this kind of props. And there was one time he said, I think I found what is the most significance I've been looking for in my life, and I don't think there is no meaning anymore. If you can't laugh, if you can't smile, you don't have a family. He's never been married. He never had a family all his life. He was the only child as well. And
oh my God, it sounds like me.
So, man, I didn't know, but it's just like maybe a reason to why I bring that story. But Eric, there is one important. That's why I told you, this is the best thing I did in my life, to get married. And that significance is you travel beyond that marriage afterward, beyond that spirituality that you really never know you can do it. And you overcome all those kind of fears in your life, and when you're like alone, you're looking for something that you couldn't find, and then you find out in that detour, you find that one whole little thing that you cannot even see it.
It's funny you should say that, and I think it was Warren Buffett who said this, or he quoted it at some point. The most important investment you will ever make in your life is who you marry.
Correct.
And I just found that so interesting, coming from whatever the second most richest man or whatever, he's way up there in the guys with more money than God. So the fact that that's
more
what
money than God. Okay.
Although I don't think God has a bank account, so but I think we are getting closer. This has been such a fascinating
I know, it's very
conversation,
exciting.
and the time has gone by so incredibly fast. But I would like to thank my guest, Maricol Tolosa, for coming on the show. I know that Irene and I have been talking the whole time, but we will definitely have you back. Good luck on the endeavor of becoming a commercial pilot.
Thank you.
I hope you do. I think it's once you become a commercial pilot, I think any airline would be jumping for the chance to have you as a pilot.
That's what I told her. The moment she stepped into the class and into my office, and I said, I already see you in the airline very soon. You got to do it right now. And I already see her like one of a captain in an airline company. And that's how I see her.
Yeah.
And believe me, I'll never go wrong. When I see it with my students, I never go wrong. The next year, they are there.
Well, listen, thank you so much, Irene, for coming down and talking with us for here. Now, if someone would like to get in contact with you, or is interested in flying, or interested in being a commercial pilot, where could they go to contact you?
Well, we are just very, very, very nearby, just a phone call away. You can reach us at 844-3442 or 840-1655. We also have a website, www.manilaeroclub.com, and on our fan page, Manila Aero Club Flying Academy. And you can actually get in touch with our student, Maricol Tolosa, one of the most beautiful, charismatic woman pilot here. That, there's so many things to talk about her and her experience in flying, but next time we come back, I'm gonna let her be the captain of the show.
All right, that's great. Listen, this has been Revolutions Per Minute on DZRJ Radio. We will see you next Saturday. Thank you, everyone, and have a great afternoon.